Let's play some MW3. It's been a while. It really has been. Let's talk about something. I know I've said it. I know I've talked about it before. I know my mom mentioned it. That was something else. It's pretty fucking embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was little old Austin just trying to get it right. I almost burned my old house down as a kid, which I know a lot of people are saying, what the fuck did you do? You obviously failed because you still have a home. Well, no shit. Obviously, I said I almost. That is a very crucial point. So, as a kid, when you learn new things, everyone can agree. As a kid, when you learn new things, you want to keep doing it. Say you learn how to make a bomb-ass sandwich, you want to keep making those sandwiches. I was that type of person. So I learned how to make a sandwich. And I would always like, hey, Mom, you want a sandwich? No? You're getting one anyway. That's the type of person I was. I would keep making people sandwiches. And I know the internet involves the women always making sandwiches, but you know what? I was a fucking kid, so relax. Anyway, so I was probably about like 7 or 8 years old, and I learned how to cook hot dogs, and I was so pumped because all the times I had to wait for my parents or my brothers to make me food, because that's what you are as a kid. You're pretty much just that person who sits back and just fucking grubs up on everything you can get, and your friends, your parents, everyone makes the food for you. Let's face it. You were never a child, and then you had to make food. That's just never the case.
Oh my god! Pamaj!
No! Anyway, so I learned how to make hot dogs, and I was always making hot dogs. It was a good thing. I learned how to cook. I was feeling a little more independent as my little old Pamaj self, and I made hot dogs a few times very successfully. They were very good, even though it is very easy to make hot dogs. I don't really care, because these hot dogs were bomb and everyone was happy. My parents didn't have to. Oh, hold on. No! And yeah, my parents were really happy that I could do something on my own, which is really fucking sweet. So, food was a pretty big step for me. So there's this one really hot day. It was only me and my brothers at home, and we had the smart idea to go swimming. And we used to live on a reservation, so we had to probably bike about 6 kilometers just to go swimming either direction. I decide that it's a good idea to ask my brothers before. Yo, do you guys want me to make you some hot dogs? Like, I can make some bomb-ass hot dogs, guys. I could just boil them up in some water, I could be that good brother. I could be a good guy today. Even though I was a good guy every single day, just saying. So, I put it on the stove, and it blew over my head that we were going swimming, and I left the hot dogs on high, and we went swimming. I didn't know that right away, and we kind of found out a really odd way. Like, we went down there, we were swimming, yada, 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 and then we were having a good time. I, myself, completely forgot I was even making hot dogs in the first fucking place. And we actually had a police officer come visit us and tell us, you almost burnt your house down. There was a bunch of smoke coming from it. And then I was like, oh my god, what do I do? I was so terrified. Like, I'm one of those people that feel really bad when I do something bad. Like, when I do something really fucking bad, like awful, I feel awful about it. There's no way for me to... That's a fucking moth. There's no way for me to feel absolutely normal about it. I just can't. I felt awful about it, and oh, that could have been a triple. And we went home, and my cousins actually saved the house, which was really kind of cool and good on our half, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have had a house, because that shit would have been burned down to the ground. So what they described it as, and it was cool, it was this part was cool because we went there and there was a little note on the ground, and there was a really burnt pot, and there was a burnt pot of hot dogs, and it was lying there. There was a little note. It said, sorry, this is all we could get. They were being kind of funny with it, because like, these guys almost burned down their house. Not really. Austin's in shit. And they actually went inside the house that was completely smoking, and they actually got it off the stove and saved our house, which is really cool. So that's probably about the only good part that happened in this story. However, I got home, it smelled like burnt hot dogs inside the entire house for God knows how long. It smelled really bad, and then my parents heard about it. Oh god, that really sucked. As I said before, I feel really bad when I do stupid things, especially things that are just awful. And I was frozen. No, I went into my room, I sat there, I opened up my Shonen Jump magazines, I was just reading it. So much fucking concentration was on the Shonen Jump magazines, and I didn't want to look up, I didn't want to look down, I just kept reading because that's all I could think about. That, and it was burnt hot dog water and burnt hot dog smell everywhere in the house. Those are two things I was focusing on: the hot dog smell and the Shonen Jump magazine. And then it happened. My mom came home and she just opened the door. She looked at me, and I knew she looked at me. We all know it. We all know if you just look at something and someone is staring at you, you just know. In your peripheral, or you just have godlike senses, you just know that they're there. You become fucking Bruce Lee. You just know what's going on in their head, and they're just like, you fucking failure. You're such a peasant. My mother didn't actually say that, but I bet that's kind of what she was thinking. So she came into the room, and I was just borderline about to cry. I was trying to keep my composure, right? I was like, all right, I'm a grown up now. I can cook hot dogs. I can't cry. You're not allowed to cry, Austin. And about 5 minutes later, I started bawling my head. And I was grounded for about 2 weeks from the stove, which was pretty solid. Just that I wasn't allowed to cook. And we lived in a house that smelled like burnt hot dogs for a very long time. Oh, go on! Go on! Oh, you failed. Oh, you didn't. Oh, you gotta switch your headshot feed. Hold on. That was back-to-back clad hit markers. I'm so sad. Don't you fucking do it! Yeah! Suck it! He's gonna come up here. I'm a fucking genius! What'd I tell you? What did I tell you? So yeah, if I ever do a fan meetup and I cook hot dogs, this is a very good conversation starter. It's not actually like if makes me sound like a fucking moron, which I'm probably, I am. I know that. But Pamaj can't cook hot dogs and he almost burned out in his old home.